Hey everybody, and welcome back to Carside Chat. I'm your host Primo, and just to let you know, we were at the Bentley University Car Club car show this Sunday. It's our last fall thing. We had a full display. So if you didn't make it out to it, you missed a good one. We'd love to have you out for the next one or any of the other events that we have. But we had a lot of support that day. So before I wanted to start the interview, I wanted to thank Vincent, Fidel, Scott, Enzo, and Eddie for displaying with us. I also want to thank my customer service rep, Danielle, for helping us with our sound issues. No, we didn't get to use them. But yes, you were amazing. And I do want to appreciate, I did make sure I wanted to give you a shout out for it. And finally, I wanted to give a big shout out to Jen, who you just keep pushing me to get better at every show and helping with me to set up and think ahead of game. And you were indeed my rock. And I want to say I appreciate it. We had planned to go live, but with connectivity issues, there was a lot of technical stuff and timing stuff. It just wasn't meant to be. So without delay, here's the interview we did that day. And I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you soon. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is I guess it's going to be an episode of Carside Chat too, because we haven't done it in a while. We're out here. This is Primo, and we're out here at the Bentley Fall Show. Is that it?
Bentley Fall Auto Show.
Fall Auto Show, and this is our second time. I mean, we've been back to other ones, but this is kind of our second time being about as Executive Automotive Society. So we really got set up this year, and I was really happy with things. We're actually at the end of the show. If you guys see the video tomorrow, we got a ton of stuff that is just amazing. We had a bunch of Lambos.
Yeah, we had a ton of Lambos. I know we had a few McLarens show up. We had the Spiker show up. Yeah, that was unexpected.
Yeah.
My buddy of mine actually had seen him last night in town with a 918. Yep. So he told him to stop by, and he did. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then Eddie with he had a 718. But I'm going to introduce you here. This is Andrew Mugford.
Yep.
And so can you explain to everybody kind of what you do for the show and what's your kind of job or how you do your thing here?
Yeah, so essentially what I do is I'm the president of the Bentley Car Club. I'm a senior here at Bentley University. I'm a business economics major.
Nice.
So I've been into cars since I was little. I mean, my father introduced me to Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars when I was barely old enough to speak.
Some of us are still little.
Right, exactly, yeah. So
how does that feel too? Is kind of being the young gun in this. Do you get a lot of stuff from other people, or is it kind of like did you kind of go into this and say, what my parents taught me was what I had, and I kind of learned from there? So how'd that work?
Yeah, I mean, my parents instilled a lot of good values in me, mainly of which my father always told me from whenever I was young, just do your best, and you can't really do much else other than your best. So this is my first semester as president of the club. I've been in the club since 2019 when I started as a freshman here at Bentley. I always wanted to be in a leadership position. I always believed in this club. I loved challenging myself, and this was definitely a challenge. We were only approved for this event 3 weeks ago, so we were able to market this up in 3 weeks, and because I didn't want to make too many promises beforehand, and this was the only day that we were able to schedule in with Bentley's administration. So
when they kind of flip the switch and they say this is something we're going to approve or not approve, is it based on attendance? In other words, how many people are going to show up, or is there some kind of arbitrary thing that they kind of make as a decider?
Yeah, so essentially the way it works is we work closely with student programs and engagement, SP&E. Nice. So our director Michelle has been great, especially with University Police. Everybody's been really nice.
Yeah, there's a great crew out here.
Right. I mean, we were working through the process with them. So essentially the way it goes about is we propose the event to them, and provided that it works, I mean, they usually approve it as long as it's not something outlandish, which this fortunately is not.
We're good at outlandish, but
right, always, yeah. So we were able to approve it fairly quickly once we actually were able to get on campus and talk with them through that. But yeah, they just basically had to kick it back to their administration, clear it, do a few red tape type stuff with procurement and all that and whatnot. And I'm not too familiar on the process itself, but my understanding is we propose an idea to them, and they take a little bit of time to discuss amongst themselves and say, okay, yep, you can do it, and then we can schedule and get along with everything.
So how long has the Bentley car? I mean, been hearing about it forever. I mean, I think I remember coming to a show from this like a long time ago, but that's the thing is I feel like it's kind of been here forever.
Yep.
How long has the Bentley Car Club been around?
Yeah, so actually so I started here as a freshman in fall of 2019, semester right before COVID happened.
Yeah, of course, right?
Right, of course. You know, we all still think about that, but actually my first semester on campus was the first semester for the Bentley Car Club to exist.
Really?
So the previous year, from 2018 to spring of 2019, was their approval process. So they have to submit it in front of the student board and in front of the administration and actually draft up a constitution for the members.
You were around for all this?
I was not around for any of it. I was actually, I'm from Western Mass. I'm from Belchertown, Massachusetts. For those of you who know where UMass Amherst is, I'm 10 minutes from there.
Got it.
So I was actually at an event with some buddies of mine who own a shop with they have some shop cars they bring to events like Broke East and Import Face Off. Have you ever heard of those? And I was actually helping them with their booth when two kids in Bentley shirts showed up, and at that time, this was in April of 2019.
Nice.
So I was already accepted into Bentley, and I was excited to be a freshman. And they walked up and said, "Hey, yeah, we're actually starting a car club on campus." And that was actually something that I had wanted to do because I had been familiar with clubs in high school and all sorts of leadership stuff with that. So fall of 2019 was when we officially kicked things off. We had our first rally. We go up to the Kankomagus Highway in New Hampshire for a full day event. So that was our first club event that we did, and COVID really threw things for a loop.
Welcome to the party, right?
Right, exactly, everything. So my second semester of freshman year was a bit rocky. We didn't do a whole lot that semester because we were planning on having a show in April of 2020, but that never ended up happening. So
nice, Truno's coming up.
I was going to say we got the gang coming through here right now.
I was hoping some more, like you have a troop of guys that would kind of split the difference here.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly.
that's the thing is this was probably about 20 minutes ago, and that's kind of what as people start running out when they start leaving, everybody will make sure that that we're leaving properly. So there's something that it's important to tell people, like when you're leaving a car show and you're here and you're making noise, you're working with the group and you're revving and stuff like that, obviously work with organizers to make sure you can do something like that. But when leaving, it's probably the most important thing, and we learned this at the last show with Hopkinton, was make sure you leave and just be gentle.
Right.
And that thing is you get a lot more respect doing it that way than you will.
Yeah, because I mean the biggest thing is obviously safety, and we want everybody safe. I mean, this is a 30-mile-an-hour zone.
Yeah.
There's residents, there's kids around. It's a beautiful day. People are also trying to sleep. So we've been trying to instill a sort of chill kind of vibe with this. We love
feel that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, for the most part, it remained that way. There were a few characters who decided to kick out and rev and do a bit of a
and that's
slide out of here.
One of the reasons why I like this show so much is really because it's, you come in and you have this feeling of like kind of, I can't explain to you how many friendly people have come up to us today and just said hello for no other reason, just to talk about cars or share this experience. And I think that's the whole purpose of a car club,
right?
Is to be able to share that experience. And when you've set an example, even from, I was to say it, a youthful organization comes out, brings an event that's so really heated you got tons of cars here, tons of different genres. And then to come out and you guys setting the example of saying this is how you run an event, that's just exceptional. And this is your first time running anything, right?
Yeah, so like I said, we had originally wanted to do this starting in April of 2020, right. But then that got kicked back, so we tried for 2021. That didn't work, so then we finally had our first one in this past spring, which fortunately you guys were able to go there. Yeah. I wasn't there actually because I had been studying abroad in Barcelona, Spain.
I was like, I know he's not here.
Yep.
Looking around.
Yep.
But then nobody knew me at the time, so they're just like, but yeah, I couldn't.
Right. Yeah, so that was the thing. So I missed it by 4 days. I came back April 28th. It was on the 24th in the spring. That's but I had actually been planning along with the rest of our executive board with the event for the better part of 2-3 years of finally kicking it off, and now we were able to get this going, get a nice Z behind us here for all our tuner friends out there.
More stuff can come by, the more the merrier.
Well, right, exactly. Yep. And so I mean this is my first event that I've run for a show and been on campus for it, and been able to. So this was really cool. I was finally able to see my baby come to fruition, and obviously I'm not the only person who who scheduled this and organized this. I have to give a massive shout out to the other Bentley executive board members, and we actually have an administrative board that works. We try to bring in the freshmen and sophomore, like underclassmen, into the leadership positions ahead of time so that we can foster people interested in the club. So, I mean, in fact, one of our biggest supporters and greatest e-board members is his name is Merrick. He's actually from Seattle. He's a freshman this year.
Right.
He's hosted shows out in Seattle in the Tacoma area out there, and so he brought that knowledge here. So
I think that's another thing too, and that's something that I think people, when you go to a car show, you see cars, but you really don't see the sources that come out.
Yep.
And especially when it comes from college settings, there are people that are coming from literally around the world.
Right.
That are a part of these organizations, that are youth that really don't, I'm going to say it like this, they don't have a lot of supportive sources.
Right.
And the thing is having something like this where they can all come together, build something that's theirs, and make a difference. It's something that's not going to just permeate Massachusetts. It's going to permeate everywhere. It's going to go to all different corners. There's going to be people that go back to, you know, an Arab nation or Japan or China or whatever, and they're going to say, you know, this is the way we did car shows here.
Yep.
Let me try that here. And their formula is going to be something that you guys put together that we're now experiencing.
Right.
And definably, this is the future of the car world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the biggest thing. I mean, you were talking about youth organization. I mean, the biggest thing that we're trying to instill here is we're trying to set the stage, because we have 3 executive board members that one of which has already graduated. He's now a graduate student here, but he's still on. His name is Aramis. He's our event coordinator.
Nice.
Myself and my vice president, Bailey Taffner, we're all graduating and going to be leaving campus in May. So the biggest thing for us is setting up the future generations, that foundation to build off of, and allow our members who are currently here and new members coming in to keep the club going. Because, you know, it's great that we've hosted these shows, but ultimately my goal is to blow it out of the park so much that people remember it for years and want to keep coming back.
Exactly. And the thing is, I think you've done that already with I want to say this, the short things that you've done so far for events. I think you've really come out of the gate running. But I also understand that, like, especially when you're zealous, because I definitely see you as a zealous person that says, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to share this with the world. Come out and share this experience with us. And obviously the results have been, you know, accordingly with that kind of attention that you've given it. It's setting that foundation is so fundamental to what you're doing. But I always know that there comes that moment when it's your baby and it's the handoff, and you go, okay, I want to make sure that I'm giving it to the right person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there any other time that you can look at that and say, you know what, I'm going to feel comfortable? Is it going to be like, you know, letting your first child go off on the school bus? You know, what? Do you have any anxiety right now about it, or you kind of say, like, you know, we've got the group right now that if I give it to them, it's not going to change one little bit. Yep.
Oh, of course. I mean, there's always that anxiety of what is going to happen. There's uncertainty around it, because we don't know what's going to happen next fall. When I'm off campus, when Bailey's off campus, when Aramis are off campus, because we're the last 3 original ones from when the club first started. The first semester in fall of 2019, that's when it started. So this is going to be the true test of who's going to club. So things that I've actually come up with in my mind, and I've discussed with the 3 senior members of the executive board, is we're almost going to do a junior president, a junior vice president, for the people who are already on the executive board and the people who are also applying who haven't dipped their feet in it yet, to basically run the show while we're in the background and we're watching it. I'm still going to be a very big player in outreach, and as a president, you know, not just doing supervising and walking around and everything, but big picture stuff, reaching out to more people, reaching out to people like yourself and groups that can actually come out here while everybody else handles the day-to-day and the operations and everything, the backbone that comes with it. So that was something that I hadn't experienced last semester, so I want to try that again.
How does it feel to be, you know, like all these people that have done this for, you know, some people have done this for 50, 60 years.
Right.
And you come out of the blue and you've like, we got this formula, we're going to do it like this. And then really, I think, I'm going to be honest, I think people, if they aren't learning something from you, I think they really should. Not just with the idea of the, I'm going to say the diversity that the car show has.
Right.
The variation of both the attendees and the kind of cars that come out. But then the idea of the structure that you have that is so sound
that, like you were saying, you know what, I am going to be anxious, but we got this. I got it all done. And the other thing is you being able to come back and hand it to the future generation and say, you know what, we may not be running this, we're going to let you guys run it. It doesn't sound to me like some, young gun that's coming in and doing it. It sounds like somebody that's been doing this for 20 years.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, but and the thing is, will this be something once you leave here?
Yep.
And you go into something else? Obviously, you'll be leaving this behind because it's attached to Bentley. But when you go out there, is there going to be an inclination to say, you know what? I'm going to make another car show and it's going to be all mine. What's the...
Yeah, I mean, so that really depends because priorities shift. As you know, I'm a perfect example of kind of just going with the day, and I like to think ahead, but I like to see what comes up. To answer your question as to whether I'll create something of mine, I have always thought about that. Yeah. I owned a brand called Hatchback Heaven that over the course of 4 years, starting in July of 2018, it was hatchback focused, and we grew it up to about 18,000 followers on social media. And I actually hosted an event back, when was that? Last year, actually. And that was the first time that was something that was attached to me specifically. It wasn't attached to the Bentley Car Club. It wasn't attached to anything else that I had done. It was just me. Mm-hmm. And that was very gratifying. And the fact that I've been able to work with some amazing people on my executive board, work with honestly a pretty great administration and amazing police department, it's kind of shown me what the future could hold if I decide to go off in the future.
That's the difference when you're like, you have police forces, you have this is kind of a captive audience, and then once you get out there, it's like, oh, this is completely, now I got to hire somebody at $250 a pop an hour to cover this, and you go, okay, maybe things will change a little bit, but then you do it and you go, you know what, nothing's really changed. It's all
the same formula. It's for me, it's always been about respect the lot, respect the area that you're at, be safe, and keep others happy. I just want others to be happy and enjoy their time. And so I've always been a big advocate of that. We got some wind gusts coming up here, huh? Heard me talking about the future.
The storm ran through.
Yeah, exactly.
Just when you thought it was safe to get back to the car show. No.
Right. Yeah. So that's something that I definitely would love to do in the future, and I'm always going to be around. I mean, I plan on living around Boston. Boston's my home. I love travel. Believe me, I love getting out and exploring on my own. But Boston's such a great area, and I love New England. So I'll always be back here, hopefully seeing plenty more shows years after I've been gone, and that is the goal for now, is to do something on my own, but also still be back here and show support in any way I can.
So last question.
Sure.
And the thing is like, again, being as the community that we are, leading the future, and the thing is sometimes the future isn't just, guys in a university. Mm-hmm. Someplace is a 30 or 40-year-old guy going, you know what, I have the time now, I can get into a car, get in the car world, I want to host an event. And you wouldn't be shocked by how many times the amount of people that I've seen try to do something like this and just fail miserably. And it's not for lack of trying. It usually is a little bit on planning. It's usually a little bit on location. There's all these little things that add up to hurting a car show. But to make sure that those guys that want to get into it now can have something successful, if there's one thing that you could advise them and say, hey, this is the secret of success, or as close to as you can get, what do you think that suggestion would be to them?
Surround yourself with people that you know will have your back. The biggest thing, I mean, you can plan months in advance for something and it can still fall apart. You can plan it a week before it happens and it can still fall apart. Or it can go crazy. The biggest thing that I've found in everything that I've posted, car world or otherwise, is it matters who you have with you. You have to be honest with yourself and say, all right, is this somebody that I actually want to be in my life and helping me with this? And
God, if I could capture that and put it on a wall plaque, I think we should write that on a shirt, because I hear it from everybody.
Yeah, it's honestly so true. It has become a bit of a cliche because of how many people say it, but I'm not old, but one thing that I have learned in the short years that I've been on this earth is the people that you are with are the people that should support you and that you would want to have around you, and that will give you the success. It is. I devote everything, and I give thanks to everybody that has made this possible, yourself included.
That's remember, if I could say anything, and I've said this to so many people, I actually sent somebody a message the other day, and I said that exact thing. They said, why are you doing the Bentley event versus this other event?
Yep.
And I said, because we've done stuff for people and they don't appreciate it. They really look at something and say, oh, you guys are going to cover this event for free.
Right.
And they just see it as that. And it's like, this is, it's not a fair weather kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
We build relationships here.
Yep.
And like you were saying, it goes back to the thing. If you hang out with somebody who's, and I'm going to be brash about it, if you hang out with 10 people that are poor, you're going to be number 11. If you hang out with 10 people that are successful, you're going to be the 11th. It's just that committee or that community or that culture or whatever you want to call it, it comes together and it can lift you up or tear you down.
Right.
But you're in control of it. You build it. And that's what I think is so great here is that you've taken something, you said, you know what, I'm going to surround myself with positive people, built it up. And this is just, obviously when it's busier, we're gonna do some overlays or something so people can see it.
Right.
But yeah, that's the thing is having a successful show like this and having some of the. I have a lot of respect for a lot of people that came out, and then I've met a lot of people today that I've built a lot of respect with in a short time.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes people do burnouts or do whatever from time to time.
Yeah.
They're car people.
Yeah.
But as a whole, you came out to this event, and everybody you saw was super respectful. I mean, if you guys can see this lot right now, I've left lots that were just trashed.
Yep.
If you look at this right now, the best you're going to have to do is probably sweep up some leaves.
Right. So, exactly. Yeah.
So that's the thing is if you're doing that right, and like you were saying, that foundation is there, I think it permeates something even more than we think that we're doing.
I agree.
So, but yeah, great job on it, and I'm really looking forward to. Do we have a date for spring yet?
We don't have a date for spring yet. That is going to be decided within the next week or two, and you're going to be the first person to know, honestly. So we're gonna give you the inside scoop. Most likely we're going to plan for in April because March is so hit or miss. Obviously can't do it in January, February, but from what I've seen, middle to end of April is usually the best because most students here, because again, this is on Bentley's campus. We want a Bentley student turnout as much as we want a community turnout. So we're planning around finals and events that are happening, and we're hopefully going to plan it on a day where most people aren't out traveling or anything like that. So that is the goal for now, but mid to end April is what we're shooting for.
We're calling April the new. It's funny, we used to do September.
Yep.
Now it's moved to October. I don't know when this happened, but now October's the busy month.
Yep.
November's are going to be the Toys for Tots now, which is great because it's gone more and more that we've gone later and later in the year.
Yep.
But I've told people over and over again, like, I think April's going to be the new year. And the other thing, too, is with everything going on, people hit that first month, and that's what they've been chomping at the bit. Cars come out of storage. Everybody's ready to go. And to be able to have something good to go to is definitely a big one. So I'm looking forward to what you guys have to do, and we're definitely guaranteed to come out for you. We'll bring more of the team out for the next one, hopefully. Like I said, if you guys are in the group, if you haven't joined, we're going to continue to have stuff out there. Make sure you like the page, Executive Automotive Society. Don't forget to like and subscribe here. I want to thank you, Andrew, for coming out today.
Thank you, Alan.
Doing the stuff. Are you up for another interview? We'll do it better next year.
Yep.
So it'll be a little bit earlier, so you can come down and have some of the cool cars. If you can't hear us talk, that's okay, because it's a revving thing and we're good with it.
Right.
But yeah, and that's the thing is we can dodge some cars or whatever.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It just so happened that today, right when we were about to do this interview, for those who don't know, there was just a couple people had peeled out, and I think somebody got pulled over. So I was going to deal with that.
A bunch of cars.
But a bunch of them. Yeah. Exactly. Definitely not just one.
Well, they were saying that some of them, they weren't actually speeding. That I don't know what the deal was with it. So and I'm sure something will come out in the wash down the road here. But I mean, at worst, some of my friends I know are probably going to get warnings and they'll be like, yeah, okay, go away. But,
exactly.
Like I said, the McLaren we had, I know everybody told me it was like those guys, they walked out.
Yeah, right.
So I've always like bringing people that respect the venue. So it's very important to me to make sure that everybody that we have as part of at least our group does the right stuff. And it's very good to hear positive feedback from the people that stand out there. Hey, was it our guys? Like, no, was it your guys? It's
right.
They still got pulled over, but they wasn't them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the thing we're always trying to foster is it's cliche again, but people you're around and safety is number one priority. So we're always trying to foster a great community around here. And this was honestly, we blew it out of the park this time.
Yeah,
so
you did.
Very happy with how this happened today.
Definitely a safe event, definitely a successful event, and definitely a fun event. We're all looking forward to it.
Yep.
So thank you guys for checking out awesome Mercedes that just went by.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll, like you said, if you don't see us before, we'll see you in April. We're going to continue to look out for some car shows. We got 2 toys coming up in November. Sorry for the delay on some of the stuff. We have a big project that has been in the works, custom build that no other places have, and it's going to be, you guys love the kit stuff that we put out that you can buy. This is going to be something that you're going to be able to purchase down the road, hopefully. So yeah, once we get that stuff, you got to work with different people. They got to give you an approval before you put the video stuff out. And it's unfortunately took us a week to do some of the footage. So everybody's like, "Where's the videos?" I'm like, "We're getting it down there."
Yep.
We'll get it. But yeah, we're happy to come out today. Next time we'll have everything up and hopefully have a live stream too, and early in the day.
Definitely.
So yeah, looking forward to talking to you then.
Thank you
Guys,
again.
don't forget to check out these other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember to follow us on all the different social medias. This will be on probably over 15 platforms by the time you're done. So Amazon, all these other things. And if you didn't have a chance to see something, if you're on one of the podcast stations, remember that Spotify does have a video coverage section that we do post in, so you'll be able to see it over there. And you can head over to our YouTube, and we've just started doing some stuff to Rumble. As soon as they start uploading stuff, we'll be on there as well. So that's, I don't know, we're up to like 20 platforms now. So can't miss us if you're looking for us. We'll see you then. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Check out all this other stuff, and we'll see you then. Have a great day. And as always, keep on rolling.